Parshas Vayera, the fourth Aliyah, speaks about how now Hashem rained fire and sulfur down on the city of Sodom and overturned the entire region. Like we said before, there are really 5 cities that were grouped together around Sodom, including Sodom. Lot's wife, although the family was told, do not look back, she looked back. And guess what happened to her? She turned into a pillar of salt. And then the rest of the family, Lot and his 2 daughters, took shelter in a cave. And assuming that the whole world was destroyed, the daughters of Lot, who meant well, they had a relationship with their father, and they became, after intoxicating him with wine, they seduced him in order to repopulate the world. They thought that they were the last people standing in the entire world, and they felt that this was an appropriate thing to do in that time. Each of them gave birth to a son, and these were going to be the future nations of Ammon and Moab, and very interestingly, David HaMelech would eventually come out of Moab, and from Rus, of course, and Melech HaMashiach, all from this very, very strange episode in this week's Parsha. Avram Avinu then moves to the city of Gerar. Avimelech, who was the king of the Plishtim, took Sarah, and he thought that it was okay to do that because Avram presented her to him as his sister, and inviting her into the palace, thinking that he would be able to be together with her. All of a sudden, Hashem made all of the members of Avimelech's palace stricken with a disease, and appeared to Avimelech in a dream and warned him to return Sarah to her husband Avram, which Avimelech, of course, did. He showered Avram and Sarah with gifts, and he and his household were healed. Sarah, in this Aliyah, conceives, and at the age of 90, miraculously gives birth, of course, to Yitzchak Avinu, and Avram gave a bris to Yitzchak when he was 8 days old. One thing that I wanted to just add to this Aliyah, if I may, is that when Lot's wife looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt. Now, why did she turn into salt of all things? Why didn't she turn into any other thing? Why salt? And I think there's an important lesson to be learned here, that she was looking at the destroyed city of Sodom. Sodom was being destroyed, like we said, with sulfur and salt. And so what she was looking at, she became. A very, very important lesson in life. We think very often that we watch things on television, on movies, on our smartphones, and that it somehow remains separate from us. Or sometimes people play video games and they're shooting people, they're killing people, but they don't see that that actually influences them at all. After all, it's just entertainment. What we see from this is that whatever you look at, you become. When Lot's wife looked at the city of Sodom, she became the city of Sodom. She was actually transported into the view that she was looking at. And so it's very important to learn that lesson, that we must be very, very vigilant with technology, not to look at things that we're not supposed to, and not think that, well, it's not the world, it's not reality, it's just virtual. There's no such thing as virtual. Whatever our eyes see becomes a part of us, it becomes a part of our mind, it becomes a part of our personality, and it stays ingrained in us forever.